Hello everyone, I cordially welcome you all to another video from the Python tutorial series, and in this video we are going to discuss about tuples in Python. So before we start, we have a small request. We have been recently observing that many of our lovely audience have not subscribed to our channel yet. So I will cordially request all our viewers to please subscribe to our channel, as that will motivate us to bring more videos in the future. I hope by now you have already subscribed to our channel, so without any delay, let's get started. Tuple is a heterogeneous, ordered and immutable collection in Python. They are exactly like a list data structure, apart from the fact they are immutable, okay? So if you have watched our previous videos, you know that we have discussed about the list data structure. It is a solid 20 minutes video where I have given you all the details and all the necessary methods that are required to work with list in Python. So I will request you all to watch that video also, because you will find a lot of methods similar. Point number 2 says in Python tuple, data are kept inside a pair of parentheses. So in case of list data structure, we have seen we write the data items within a pair of square brackets. In case of sets, we write in within a pair of curly braces, and in case of tuple, we write within a pair of parentheses. Okay. The last but not the least, I have given an example how to create a tuple in Python. So we have assigned a tuple which contains 1, Samrat, 45 and true. And we have assigned this tuple to a variable named as a. Okay, so this is how we basically create a tuple in Python. So don't worry as of now. In next few minutes we will go to VS Code and understand all the methods that are required to work with tuples in Python. Okay. Let's proceed. So as of now, we have learned what are tuples and how do we write them. So for now, let's go to VS Code and discover the methods available in Python tuple. Okay, let's go. Welcome to VS Code. Now we are going to explore the methods available for Python tuples. Okay, let's start with how we create a tuple in Python. So here I have created a tuple contains 4 data items, that is 1, Samrat, 45 and true. As I have said, Python tuples are basically linear data structure that contains heterogeneous data. So 1 and 45 are of type integer, Samrat is of type string and true is of type boolean. When we create this tuple, we assign it to a variable a, and finally we print a, and hence we see the tuple on our terminal. Okay. There is another way by which we can create a tuple, that is using the tuple constructor. So here I have used this tuple constructor and I have passed an iterable which contains the data items that we want inside our tuple. So this will basically use these data items to create a tuple and assign the tuple instance to this variable a. And again we are printing a. So as you can see, we get the same output. Okay. And finally, I have shown you what is the data type of a. So when we say print type and then pass a to this type method, we see class tuple. That is, a basically points to a tuple instance. Okay. Let's go to the next method. In the next example, we are going to learn how we can access elements within a tuple. Okay. And that will actually familiarize us with indexing in tuple. So like list data structure, Python tuples also has 2 types of indexing. They are positive indexing and negative indexing. Here we have created one tuple which contains 1, Samrat, 45 true and assign it to a variable a. Now what if we want to access the first item of this tuple? We can write a and pass 0. Okay, within a pair of square brackets. This will basically mean the item that is present at the 0th index of this tuple a. So if we want to access Samrat, we will pass 1. If we want to access 45, we will pass 2. And if we want to access true, we will pass 3. 0th index contains 1. First index contains Samrat. Second index contains 45. And the third index contains true. Okay. That is, when we move from left to right, that is positive indexing, the value for index starts from 0 and increases by 1. Okay. But in case of negative indexing, it is not so. When we do negative indexing, we start from the extreme right and move to the left. So if we want to access true directly using negative indexing, we will write -1. But if we want to do it with positive indexing, we write 3. And when we move from right to left to do the negative indexing, the value or the index value decreases by 1. So true is in -1 index, 45 is in -2 index, Samrat is in -3 index, and 1 is in -4 index. So here I have printed out all the data items, once using positive indexing and another time using negative indexing. And as you can see on my screen, both of them yield the same result. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and when we do negative indexing, it is -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how we can slice a tuple. So similar to the list data structure, slicing also works in tuples. So here we have created the same tuple and assigned it to the variable a. Now when we do slicing, we basically pass a starting index, then colon followed by the ending index. But remember, the starting index is inclusive, but the ending index is exclusive in nature. Okay. If we write 1, 2, 3, that doesn't mean starting from index number 1 up to index number 3. It is not so. As I have said, the ending index is exclusive. So this will mean 1 and 2. So we will see Samrat and 45 on our terminal. Okay. When we write like this, it basically slices our original tuple and returns a new tuple. And the new tuple is basically a subpart of this original tuple. Okay. Now it is possible that you might not pass the starting index or the ending index. Okay. If you don't pass the ending index, it will start from the first element and continue up to the ending index -1 position. So when we write 1 colon and we don't write ending index, it will start from Samrat and the resultant tuple will contain Samrat, 45 and true, as you can see on the terminal. But if I don't pass the starting index, it will start from 1 and it will be 0, 1, 2. The third index will not be included. As I have said, the ending index is always exclusive. So we will see 1, Samrat and 45. Okay. So see 1, Samrat and 45. And the resultant is a new tuple because as I have said, when you do slicing, you get a slice of the original tuple. Okay. Let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how we can change a value at a given index position for a tuple. So as I have already said in the starting of this video, tuples in Python are immutable in nature. So it is not possible to directly update any data item. But there is one way around. You can convert this tuple to a list data structure, update it, and then again convert the resultant list back to a tuple. So here we have the same tuple. I firstly convert this to a list using the list constructor and assign it to a variable b. Then I mutate the value at the index number 1 and I basically update Samrat with John. Then when I get this resultant, that is 1 John 45 true, which is assigned to this b and which will be a type list, I convert that list back to a tuple and finally I print the tuple. So in place of 1 Samrat 45 true, I get 1 John 45 true. But if you directly try to mutate the value, you will get an error because tuples are immutable in nature. Always remember that. Okay. Let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how we iterate over the data items in a tuple. So I have created the same tuple and assigned it to a variable a. Then I make use of the simple for loop to iterate upon the data items. I say for I in a, print I. So first I will point to 1. 1 will be printed followed by a space. Then Samrat will be printed followed by a space. Similarly, up to true it will be printed. First I get 1, then I get Samrat, then I get 45, then I get true. Okay. Let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how to check if a given item is present within the tuple. So I have the same tuple instantiated over here. I write Samrat exists in tuple and then I write Samrat in A. So here I make use of this in membership operator. So does this tuple contains the string Samrat? Yes, it contains it. So we will see Samrat exists in tuple true. And see, we see the exact same thing on our terminal. Samrat exists in tuple true. Okay. Let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how we can find the length of a tuple. Basically, what I mean to say here is, we need to find how many data items are present within a tuple. So here I have created the same tuple again, and I make use of this len function to find the length of this given tuple. So what we do, we basically write the len function and pass the tuple as an argument. And the len function basically returns the length of the given tuple. So as this tuple contains 4 items, we see 4 on the terminal. Okay. Let's go to the next example. Now, there is one catch which is attached with this tuple concept. What if I ask you to create a tuple that only contains one element? So most probably you might be thinking we will create it like this. But when we create it like this and we print it, we don't get a tuple, we get a string. Okay. So how do we create a tuple which contains only one element? And this is a very important interview question also. Okay. We basically write the same thing, but we write a comma after it. And when we say print a, we get a tuple which contains only one element. So always remember, when you have to create a tuple that contains only one element, you write the data item within a pair of parentheses, and after the item put a comma. Okay. Let's go to the next example. In the next example, we are going to learn how we can combine or join two tuples. So here I have tuple A and I have tuple B. Both contains different data. I want to join the tuples and store it in a resultant tuple C. So here we can simply do it using addition, or you can say concatenation. So I write C equal to A plus B and print C. When I do so, on the terminal I see 1 Samrat 45 true, followed by 2 John 52 true. Okay. So using this simple concatenation, we can join two tuples in Python. And this is a very important interview question as well. Okay. Let's go to the next example. And in the next example, we are going to check how to find the number of times an element is present within a given tuple. So we have created one tuple which contains a lot of numbers. We want to say how many times this number 32 is present within this tuple. So we make use of this count method. We write 32 is present, then we have a placeholder, and then I write times. And I basically format this placeholder using this dot format method available in Python. And we basically replace this placeholder by age.count32. So this is the important part for this example. So when we want to find how many times a given data item is present within a tuple, we make use of this count method. So 32 is present 1, 2, basically 2 times. Okay. So we should see 32 is present 2 times on our terminal. And yes, we see the exact same thing. 32 is present 2 times. Okay. Now we come to the last example for today's video. In this example, we are going to find the index of any element present within a tuple. So we have created another tuple which contains a lot of numbers. We want to find the index of the item 3. So we make use of dot index method available for tuples. We write age.index and pass the data item of which we want to find the index. So 3 is present within this tuple and its index position is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we should see 4 on our terminal. And yes, we see 4. But remember one thing, that index method returns error if the given item is not present in the tuple. So when you want to use index method in Python, always do proper error handling. And if you don't know what is error handling, don't worry, we will soon discuss about it. Okay. So I hope by now these examples are clear with you. In case you have any doubt, I will post the link of our blog in the description section below. You can go and check it out. Okay. Let's go back to our presentation. I hope you found this video informative. In case you like the video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, as that will highly motivate us to bring more videos in future. For any queries, doubts, suggestions or feedbacks, feel free to post them in the comment section. We are going to reply. So thank you for now. See you in the next video. Bye.